Hello, BookTube. The Inconsistent Reader here with part 10, Spring Green. And you'll notice I'm be wearing the same outfit and the same earrings in the next video because I accidentally recorded that one first. Sadly, I was saving that one for a special episode at the ocean. So I don't know if I'm doing that now. Anyway, so we're on part 10, Spring Green. We're back to Agnes. I'm gonna call her Hannah, or I'm gonna call her both. I don't know. I don't know what I'm really gonna do. We'll see as it goes. But anyway, Hannah's getting into the preparations of her upcoming wedding, and she sprinkles in clues of her future that I didn't register the first time I read it, and now that I'm reading it, I'm seeing these clues of her future. Anyway, some of the aunts come to the house and they start sizing her up like a prize sow. Like, no shit. Checking her teeth and the size of her hips, and then asking if she is padded here because you'd be surprised what they would do, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so Paula's complaining about Hannah's attitude, and the aunts are just like, she's at that age. Even the good girls go through it. And I quote, said Aunt Vidala, "We have taught her all we can. If they stay in school too long, they become disruptive." Let's discuss. I wonder why they become disruptive. Is it because the more they learn about life, the less they want that shitty life that's set in front of them? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that's crazy. Is it crazy? No. So then Paula goes on to tell the aunts that they want her to be married off to a commander and nothing lower. Nothing lower, of course. To which the aunts reply, and I quote, I should just have this open and ready. "That is understood," said Aunt Gabbana. She was making some notations on a clipboard. I watched in awe as she moved her fingers, which held a pencil. What potent symbols was she inscribing? Like, think about that. Think about how crazy that is. That she is just seeing her writing on a clipboard, and she is amazed and curious as to what symbols she is writing. Symbols! No, dude, she's writing letters and numbers, probably. Like, these things these girls have, they're no longer taught. They don't know letters and numbers. They maybe numbers, I don't know, but they definitely don't know their freaking letters. Anyway, so the girls are not allowed to go to each other's weddings. They simply, disappear from regular school, and then they're not seen again until their wives. So not too long after the aunts showed up, she was told she wasn't going to be going to school that day, Hannah. And she didn't go back to school after that day. She was supposed to be busying herself with this embroidered stool project for her future husband, but instead she's just fretting and moping around. I mean, first of all, she's a freaking teenager, and secondly, she has to marry some guy, some probably older, gross guy. I just wanted to share this next quote just because I couldn't not. And I quote, "Reading was not for girls. Only men were strong enough to deal with the force of it. And the aunts, of course, because they weren't like us. I had wondered how a woman changed into an aunt. Aunt Esty had once said that you needed to have a calling." Let's discuss about the reading part. Who the fuck really believes their gender is the only one who can comprehend and understand the written word? And how the fuck do they convince these girls that it's true? It saddens me on a deep level to think that people actually believe in this kind of nonsense. Anybody can fucking read. It's not rocket science. I don't have my water. Sucks. So on the third day of moping about in her room, Paula comes in with some boxes and tells Hannah it's time for her to put away her childish things. And then, later you can look at them and decide what to give away to the younger girls. So in the next chapter, the aunts start dressing her up as if she were a doll that they were playing with. And then after doing that, they show up a few days later with a couple of new outfits that are altered to her. But they are all the outfits are like hand-me-downs that are just altered. So one is for spring and summer, and the other one is for fall and winter. Meanwhile, her pink and her plum clothes were cleaned and folded and sent to the younger girls to be reused because clothes were not wasted in Gilead. Now, along with her new outfits, Hannah was sent to a new school, Ruby's Premarital Preparatory. Now, this is a school for teaching them how to be a good wife. And this was a privilege for only the well-to-do girls, okay? So, if you were just a regular ass nobody, they didn't teach you how to be a good wife. Sorry. So, Shunammite and Becca were both at the new school with her, and Shunammite seemed to be, really into getting married. Becca, however, was looking worse for wear, and while she was happy to see Hannah, she wasn't happy to be there in general. She too was going to be married off soon, and she hated it. And I quote, "But I don't want to," she would wail to us when Aunt Lise was out of the room. "To have some man crawling all over you. Like worms. I hate it." It had occurred to me that she didn't say she would hate it. She said she already hated it. What had happened to her? Shunammite just shakes it off. How sex will only hurt a little, and then you're free to run your own house and you have your own car. Isn't it worth it? Aunt Lise was their manners and customs teacher. She'd teach them how to run their household, including how to order their Marthas about and how to judge what they do, plus some light gardening, really. And I quote, "In these times of national scarcity, it was important not..." Oh, this is about judging the Martha's cooking. "In these times of national scarcity, it is important not to waste food or to spoil its full potential. Animals had died for us," Aunt Lise reminded us, "and vegetables too," she added in a virtuous tone. So they were also taught some basic interior design stuff, but of course the final decisions were her husband's to make. Interior design choices? Jeebus crust. I honestly think I'd rather die than have to put up with a boot on my back my entire life. It's just not for me, man. Meanwhile, poor Becca is just getting more and more depressed as her wedding quickly approaches. And on the 4th day of their flower arranging class, Becca decides to slash her wrist with her secateurs. Now, if you don't know what these are, I'm going to show you a picture of them. I also didn't know what they were called secateurs. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I call them pruners, but I digress. It doesn't matter. And I quote, "I could not forget her expression. It had a ferocity I had never seen in her before, and which I found very disturbing. It was as if she turned into a different person, though only for a moment. By the time the paramedics had come, she looked serene." How wild is that? She was happier having slashed her wrists than to have to sit in that flower arranging class. So the section ends with Aunt Lise calling Becca immature, to which of course Shunammite, calling Becca immature while saying "unlike you girls" to Shunammite and Hannah. To which, of course, Shunammite beams, of course, and Hannah just, kind of goes into Stepford form, by which, she's got her plastered smile on, but you could tell she's just, screaming on the inside. Anyway, that's the end of this one. This one's really short. So I guess I'm just going to put both of them up since I already did the other one. And the next section is 11, and it's sackcloth, and we're back to Aunt Lydia and her craziness with the beginning of Gilead. I really wish I knew her real name, Lydia, but I guess the point is it doesn't matter. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode with me, the Inconsistent Reader. And as always, make good choices. Bye.